Yes. You know, I was thinking about this change. The thing that I dislike, right, is lack of education. See, I think we should have swimming pools in every city, and we should have gun ranges next to the swimming pools because I think it's fun shooting guns. I'm not really a hunter, right? But there's a weapon that you get to have at 16 years old called a vehicle. And for some reason, you're mature enough to drive a car by yourself because of driver's ed. Yeah. And then you get to have a driver's license and then you get to run over people. Why is it that the educational system doesn't provide gun safety classes alongside driver's ed so that every student in the United States is educated about guns? Every student. See, I have this problem with those that do own guns and those that don't, when only half of them actually, well, half the population, probably less than that, actually understand gun safety. Now, for those that want change, what if you were to take a gun safety class right alongside driver's ed so that when you have a vehicle called a weapon, or is it a weapon called a vehicle? Is it your fault that you drive into people? I mean, of all the accidents that happen for those that are 16 to 21 years old, yes, why don't you get me all the driver's permits and then all the driving schools and then all the driver's licenses that are issued to 16-year-olds? And then how many of them get into accidents where they cause some damage to somebody else? Now, they give you a license, right, to drive. And I went through driver's ed and I did get in an accident when I was 16 years old. Now, it wasn't my fault. Yes. Somebody blindsided me. Now, at that time, I had a 67 Chevy three-quarter ton pickup truck, and it was a very safe vehicle to drive, right? But when you're driving down the road and somebody runs into you, yes, it was completely totaled. Ouch. Now, I lived through it, yes. But was the other driver mentally ill for running their car into me? Well, if you continue to take away gun rights for those that want to own them and want to responsibly use them, yes, it would seem that the rest of those that don't understand the reasons why anyone would want to own a gun, yes, they don't understand gun safety. Now, I think that there needs to be a curriculum in all schools, right? That the Second Amendment right that they don't want to enforce because they just think, well, you are alleged to have committed domestic violence and child abuse. And we issued a protection order without any protections to you because your wife said you were crazy. Yes. And then we decided that we'd have you arrested for the allegation of violating it when your wife was very deceptive right now. Ooh-wee. And then we would continue to reissue the protection order because you would not have a mental health evaluation. And then we would make up a crime where you did not commit the crime and you refuse to acknowledge right now the Second Amendment rights of the United States of America. Now, I would say for every student in high school that thinks that getting a driver's license gives them the license to have a vehicle that can be used to kill people, ooch, let's do a little comparison shopping right now. I'd like to know all the traffic accidents for those that are 16 to 21 years old during those 5 years for the last 20 years. Yes. And then I'd like to know the actual damage caused by a firearm for any individual from the age of 12 to 60 years old for the last 20 years. And then I'd like to do a little comparison right the fuck now. See, as soon as you start taking away any of these amendment rights, because Your mind says, well, they're not mature enough at 18 to have a gun, so we're going to change the laws of the United States. Now, there could be a little lawsuit here, school districts of the United States, where I decide, Pooch, you're going to offer a full semester, that's right, of gun instruction to every American citizen so as to protect the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. And that way, if you decide to shoot somebody, yes, there is no excuse for what you did not learn in class. That's right, you don't shoot people after you've been through the safety class of how to have a gun. Just like you don't run over people with vehicles right now after you get your driver's license. That's right. Now I'm going to go through the driver's licenses, okay? And I'm going to look at the signatures, okay? And then you